Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Stoop Radio Network right here on Spreaker. I am your host, Jonathan Ragus, and alongside me, as always, is Jeff the Shark Porrini. What's going on, man?
Hey, great to be here. Happy 50th episode for you and I here at the Stoop. I know the Stoop has run for years, but it's 50th for you and me, and I'm excited to be here, man. Big show, big things today, big night. I'm pumped.
Good times. We're going to have some good times, as always, right here on the Stoop. We haven't been here in a few weeks, but we had some technical difficulties with some equipment we had, stuff with Skype, because we used that for our guest to call into, and unfortunately, it was just a little crazy. But we hope everything is ready to go. We have some new equipment here, Jeff. We have some new technology. So to our listeners, in case we hit a couple of clinks and clanks and clunks tonight, just bear with us because this is new to us, some of this stuff. We took a couple of weeks to learn it. It took a couple of weeks to get everything set up and running. So we're going to have some fun with this tonight, Jeff. Before we jump into what we have going on tonight, we want to talk a little bit about our last interview, which was pop star Aaron Paul. We met him at the Keswick Theater for the Glam Skanks and Adamant tour. We were supposed to have him on a few weeks before that, but unfortunately with the technical difficulties, it just did not work. And then we got a chance to meet him at the Keswick Theater in Glenside, Pennsylvania. We did a little bit of the interview at the Keswick Coffee House with him, and then unfortunately we had to stop it. And we didn't get to continue the interview for like another 3.5 to 4 weeks later. But we finally got to finish it, and it was great. We had a great time with Aaron. Jeff, great guy, wasn't he?
Excellent guy. Very friendly, a great interview. The coffee at the coffee house was excellent as well, so little cheap plug for them. But Aaron was a great guy. A good time. We hung out with him all night long, and very charismatic and kind of guy you really wish success works. He's worth it. He's a good guy.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to listen to that interview, head right over to our website at www.stoopradio.com. And you can hear that show and so many of our past shows right there on the website. Tonight's a good one. We're going to be having two guests here tonight. At the 8:15 hour, we're going to be joined by actor and professional dunker Kris Staples, who is starring in a new movie called Slamma Jamma, which comes out nationwide in theaters tomorrow, March 24th. And in the movie, there's a lot of different actors and actresses, but he also gets to act alongside of legendary Cowboy wide receiver Michael Irvin and Jose Canseco. There's really nothing to put in front of Jose's name there, so we'll just say Jose Canseco.
Legendary Jose Canseco.
Legendary something Jose Canseco.
Legendary alleged steroid abuser Jose Canseco.
So he will be here with us, and at around 8:50, 8:55, we're going to be joined by another actor, Derek Nelson, who's running a hit YouTube series called Down with David. And we're going to talk to them a little bit about that. And it's interesting to see that people are actually doing actual television shows on YouTube. I don't know if that's a new thing. I don't know if that's happened before. But we're going to talk to them about that. I'm really interested in of course in all of our guests. But I'm really interested to find out about the whole YouTube thing, Jeff.
Yeah, we had a couple weeks back. We had the girls on from Teachers. And that's how Teachers got started. The hit show now on TV Land. They got started. 6 girls got together. They did a show on YouTube, and next thing you know, somebody from TV Land saw it, loved it, became a TV show. So maybe that's the new thing for you aspiring artists out there. Since we always talk about remakes and beating dead horses of stuff that's already done, get out there and get creative. Get on YouTube, make a show. You never know. Might hit big time. And tonight's guest is going to tell us all about it, and we're excited to hear about it.
Absolutely. So before we get with our guests, let's, we always jump into some topics of discussion here on the Stoop, so we'll talk about some things. First of all, we have to talk about the passing of the legendary rock and roll god himself, Chuck Berry, who passed away I believe it was last week. Yeah, he passed away at the age of 90 in Missouri. The influence that Chuck Berry had on musicians today is just amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the absolute greatest artists of our time. A guy who kind of led the way for rock and roll. And I remember I posted on Facebook, everybody says, today's guitar players look up to Clapton and Jimmy Page and Van Halen for creating it. It was really Chuck Berry that created today's sound of guitar. And his songs are very catchy and upbeat, and his guitar playing was outstanding, and just an outstanding musician. Truly one of the very first pioneers of what we call today rock or rock and roll.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so many, condolences and regards came out from musicians of all type, and you're talking about from blues, from rock and roll, from alternative to heavy metal, to pretty much anybody to country music, anybody that picked up a guitar. I mean, Chuck Berry was their influence. Chuck Berry is the king of rock and roll, and I know Elvis fans are really going to dispute that, but Chuck Berry is the true king of rock and roll because he took something and made it into something so big. And yeah, Elvis had a lot of influence on a lot of people, but when you talk from a pure guitar standpoint, there's nobody better than Chuck Berry. And one of our writers, Jeffrey Weinstein, he wrote an amazing tribute to Chuck Berry, which you can check out over at stoopradio.com, and that's making the rounds everywhere. Jerry Lee Lewis's son retweeted it on Twitter, and Jerry Lee Lewis was a really good friend, longtime friend of Chuck Berry, and put out a beautiful condolence message, to his family and friends. It just sucks, man, watching all of these people go, because not only does that mean they're getting older, it means we're getting older too, Jeff.
Right. He made it to 90, which is good. See, a lot of these artists that we've had recently, guys dying in their 40s, 50s, 60s. So Chuck lived a pretty long life, 90 years old. And it's funny when you say that. I said the same thing. I called him the king of rock and roll. And everybody says Elvis. I guess Elvis was a more marketable guy, the big pompadour hairdo and the good looks. And Chuck was just a hardworking guy, man. He was out there making great music. So from a music standpoint, I can agree with you. Chuck Berry, the king of rock and roll.
Absolutely. And then we also had some other passings, unfortunately, over the last week. Chuck Barris, legendary creator and host of The Gong Show and The Dating Show and so many other shows, passed away at 87 years old. Jeff, I know you said that you thought he passed away a long time ago because we just haven't heard from Chuck Barris in a very long time.
Exactly. He kind of he made The Gong Show, and The Gong Show was brilliant in the fact it was just traditional, regular person television. Kind of a variety show and different talents and getting it was a reality TV show before reality TV was big. Yeah. And I remember that as a kid, and I remember the $1.98 beauty pageant with Rip Taylor. They would get these young ladies on, and they would have a beauty pageant. The winner would get $1.98 and a crown, and that's back when TV was fun. And Chuck Barris was so lively, a great entertainer, great host. The show was phenomenal. But yeah, in the last few years, I mean, you've heard his name, his production company did a lot of game shows.
Oh, yeah.
But Chuck was very charismatic and a guy that'll certainly be missed. I missed him for a long time, obviously. But more now, you're right. But more now that he's gone. So another tough loss there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then baseball manager, and this hits both of us because me being a New York Mets fan, you being a Philadelphia fan, Philadelphia Phillies. Dallas Green passed away also this week in Philadelphia at the age of 82. What did Dallas Green mean to you as a Phillies fan, and what did he mean to the city of Philadelphia?
Dallas Green, to me, meant pretty much World Series champion. I was a young kid back in 1980, but I remember the teams of the 70s were so good. Schmidt and Luzinski and Gary Maddox and Boa, but they couldn't quite get to the World Series. And then I remember in 1980, Dallas Green took over. Pete Rose had joined the team. Green became the manager, and he won the World Series. So to me, Dallas Green is like my youth of Philadelphia Phillies baseball. He's a guy that brought the World Series to Philadelphia after such a long drought of waiting for a championship. So to me, the guy could never do no wrong, even though he went to New York and made his rounds. Dallas Green lives in my heart of sports forever.
Yeah, absolutely. my story with this is, Dallas Green wasn't nowhere near as successful with the New York Mets as he was with the Philadelphia Phillies. I remember when
Sure.
he came to the New York Mets, I wasn't too happy with it. The team was at its lowest. I mean, playing guys like Joe Orsulak, Todd Hundley, some decent players, but nothing of substantial. Dallas Green was fired in '96, and then he was replaced, of course, with Bobby Valentine, and there came some of the biggest years for the Mets since '86. But you know, he wasn't a bad manager for the Mets. It's just that he had a terrible roster,
Yeah.
which made him a very bad manager in the minds of New York Mets fan. Which is terrible because with a good team, I really think Dallas Green could have actually won a championship in New York with the Mets. If he would have had maybe that 99 to 2000 team that Bobby Valentine took into the World Series, might have been a different story. I love Bobby Valentine, but I do think Dallas Green was a better manager.
Yep.
It's just that's just how I feel, and I'm sure with the Yankees he didn't have a good record. He wasn't there very long. He had over 500 for the Phillies from '79 to '81. Mets '93 to '96. He didn't have a long managerial career, Dallas Green. But yet, he was good.
When he came here, he replaced Danny Ozark in Philly, and that's big because Danny Ozark was loved in his town. Older, slow, kind of methodical kind of manager, but a guy that was winning but couldn't quite get there. So when Green came in, he inherited almost like a Hall of Fame lineup. Rose, Manny Trio, Boa, Schmidt. I can remember like it was yesterday. Bob Boone, Luzinski, Gary Maddox, Bake McBride.
Yeah.
Pitchers like Steve Carlton, Dick Ruth, and Tug McGraw in the bullpen. So he had a team here that was flawless. It was hard not to manage this team to win. They just needed that one little spark, and Green came in and gave them that spark. But like I said, I mean, yeah, I know I say stuff like this about guys like Phil Jackson, and yeah, if you get a winning team, anybody could do it. But Green took a team that was good enough to get there, couldn't quite get there, and then put him there. So yeah, I agree. A guy that really had a certain something.
Yeah. And also, Robert James Waller died a couple of weeks ago. Most people know him as the author of Bridges to Madison County. Great book, legendary book, made into an award-winning picture with Clint Eastwood. I never read the book, I never watched the movie, just wasn't my cup of tea. But heard he was a phenomenal author. So rest in peace to Robert James Waller. And then today, getting the bad news that's former Boston drummer Sib Hashian passed away. He was on a rock cruise and collapsed on stage, and they used CPR, defibrillator, and whatnot, and they just could not bring him back. Sib Hashian was 67 years old, and I also found out that his daughter is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's girl, and they just had a baby together not long ago. So that's that was Rock's future father-in-law. So it looks like so. Crazy connection there, but phenomenal drummer, Boston, amazing band. Everybody loves Boston.
Excellent.
I don't care who you are. Absolutely phenomenal. So rest in peace to Chuck Berry, Chuck Barris, Dallas Green, Robert James Waller, and Sib Hashian. And a lot of other people passed away over the couple of weeks. People that, aren't big to us, but are big to a lot of other people. People in the sciences, the organic green field, bloggers and stuff like that. I literally, when I looked at the list today, we probably could have spoke for about 40 minutes on just the people that passed away that were respected in their fields. So to all of them, our condolences to the family and friends, and we hope you all rest in peace. Except for David Rockefeller.
Agreed.
Yeah. In just a few minutes, we're going to be joined by our first guest of the night, actor Kris Staples. He's starring in a new movie called Slamma Jamma, which is going to be released nationwide in theaters tomorrow. So we're going to talk to him about that. Me being a big basketball fan, Jeff, I'm kind of excited about it. Can't wait to watch it. To me, there hasn't been a great basketball movie since Above the Rim. Don't know if you remember that movie.
Yes.
Dwayne Martin, Leon, Tupac, Bernie Mac. Pretty much everybody's in it. He Got Game. Decent. I'll watch it. But to me, nah.
Better than Blue Chips?
I love Blue Chips.
Oh, my God, stop it.
I love
Shaquille
Blue
O'Neal.
Chips.
Shaquille O'Neal should have got Worst Actor award.
Shaquille O'Neal, Anthony Hardaway, and a token white guy that really wasn't anybody that they just threw in there because I guess they couldn't find. I don't know why they just didn't put Eric Montrose or somebody in the movie.
Yeah,
But
Bobby Hurley was in the movie. He played for Indiana in the movie. Bobby
yeah,
Hurley. He
should have
could have
put
been.
should have put Sean Bradley in that role. That would have been
There
nice.
you go. That would have been fantastic.
Could have hit people with his lanky legs.
Still to this day, the worst draft pick in NBA history.
I wouldn't say that.
Oh my goodness!
I would take
please.
Sean Bradley over Greg Oden tomorrow.
No, I still go with Greg Oden. I'd rather have his 40 games over whatever Bradley did and destroyed. Terrible.
832 games.
And not one worth a damn.
Oh, that's
Not
not true,
one
man.
worth a damn.
He's
Terrible.
played it. He's played in more NBA games in one season than Joel Embiid has played in his career.
No, we're not touching. We'll touch Joel Embiid later on in the program after our guests. We're going to talk about the potential disaster that has now become Joel Embiid. The love affair seems to quickly be over in Philadelphia with Mr. Embiid that quickly.
Joel Embiid. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
We're going to touch on it. We're going to touch on it. I know it's a
Yeah,
touchy subject here in Philadelphia, especially with our very own Jeff the Shark Porrini.
very.
We're going to get on it. So we're just waiting for our first guest to call in of the night. Hopefully he calls in real soon. But before we do that, and if he calls in, we'll just cut ourselves off and jump right in, Jeff. But let's talk about this terrible terror attacks in London. Absolutely awful. Somebody drove their car into a ton of people on the Westminster Bridge, then crashed through the Parliament gates and ended up attacking and stabbing a police officer before they were fatally shot. It's not the impact of 9/11, thank God.
No.
Don't know if that's ever going to happen again. God willing, it won't ever happen again. But are these smaller attacks just as scary since we know they're not coming? Because these poor people are just walking on a bridge, maybe going home, going to work, or being a tourist just looking out into the water. Are they scarier?
Any attack is scary. You really don't know. Like I said, you don't expect it. You don't know where it's coming from. And a lot of times it seems like, even though we're more aware, our guard seems to be down.
Yeah.
I mean, if they came out once a week, you'd be like, hey, be ready. Could be an attack coming another week. But it comes in weird times when you least expect it. They hit major cities. They're not afraid of major cities. The Boston Marathon bombing, of course, 9/11, and right in the heart of New York City. This right here in London. It's something to be aware of. And the thing that gets confusing is nowadays everybody hears terror attack and they think ISIS.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily ISIS. It's radical groups of all types, crazy individuals of all types. You don't know who it can be. You don't know what drives these people. Because everybody says, oh, because Donald Trump's president, you're going to get people doing this. Because ISIS is there, people are going to be doing this. You never know. There's been crazy people running around this earth since the dawn of time. And you can't predict who they're going to be. You don't know how to stop them.
No, you don't. You really don't. It's just a shame that this is constantly happening. And it just feels like every time we go days, weeks, months with nothing happening, it's like, oh, finally, are we going to get a breath of fresh air? And then, boom, here we go, something again. And it's crazy, man. It's like it's to the point that it's not even shocking anymore to me. And to me in itself, that's scary. That
Right.
I can put on the
Agreed.
news or I see it floating on Facebook or whatever that there was, like yesterday, there was a terror attack in London. And I said, oh my God, those poor people. But I'm not shocked.
Right.
And that's not good.
You go on Facebook and third or fourth person down will say, pray for London. And you're like, here we go. Another attack. Let's see what happened. Because I that's basically how I found out. I was at work. I didn't hear the news. I flipped to my phone. I saw pray for London. You start to Google it and then you see the story. And like I said, you're not shocked anymore. Like, all right, now it's London. And what's next? And who's next?
Yeah, it's crazy. But to the people who were affected by this, to the people that passed away and their families and friends, and the people who are, I think there was like over 40 people injured,
Yes.
who some are in the hospital still. Thoughts and prayers are with you. Rise up. That's pretty much all we can do. Rise up. Not you, Colin Kaepernick. You stayed down.
You're down. You're down and out.
Down and out. But I give him credit. Great donations to help out Meals on Wheels and some other great things that he just did. So I give him a lot of credit for that. All right, here we go. What we're going to do now is we're still waiting on our guest. He should be calling in soon, hopefully. We had him scheduled for 5 minutes ago. Hopefully he just lost track of time and will be calling in. If not, we'll have to reschedule with him. Which sucks because I was looking forward to talking to him. But let's jump into some sports talk. And once again, if Kris Staples calls in the middle of us talking, we'll just stop right away and we'll jump in with Kris. And then at around 8:55ish, we'll be joined by Derek Nelson of Down with Dave. Let's talk NFL. You were on a very important conference call today. Why don't you tell everybody about that and tell us what they're discussing in the NFL?
Yeah, great stuff. A lot of lead-ins to new ideas, new proposals for rules going into the 2017 season. I had the luxury of going in on a press conference with the executive vice president, Troy Vincent, Rich McKay from the Atlanta Falcons, and the head of the NFL officiating committee. A couple things that they touched on. Some safety is a big thing. Player safety is something that they're all about. A lot of rule changes. The jumping leaper rule over the line of scrimmage during extra points and field goal kicks. The touchback at 25-yard line to prevent more kick returns. The unsportsmanlike conduct. The ejections of players. That's something they're big on. They've even changed the contact rule even within 5 yards. Any blow to the head is an automatic 15-yard penalty. So they touched on that a lot. Safety has been big. Speed of the game. Rushing the game along, moving the game along a little quicker, because let's face it, you've gone from a 3-hour game now to close to a 4-hour game. And some of the things they want to do there, starting with halftime, halftime ends, the players walk to the locker room, a lot of commercials, a lot of talk, and 20 minutes later you're back. The league's going to do something new, John. I kind of like this, see what you think about it. The second halftime ends, or halftime begins rather, they're going to run a 13-minute and 30-second clock. At the end of that, the ball goes back in play.
Interesting.
I like it. I like the fact of speeding the game. Another thing they've done, this is huge, and anybody that is a regular NFL fan, instant replay, first of all, the big camera that the referee goes to is gone. There's no big camera he's going to peer into and spend minutes looking at. They're going to put him on a little tablet in the sideline. He's going to get a tablet. He's going to go to the nearest sideline, get a tablet, and review the play. But the referee does not get the final decision. The final decision now comes from the head officiating crew in New York. Now, usually you're the one to ask me the questions. I'm going to ask you the question. Do you think this raises red flags at people to think, hey, people not even at the field are going to make the final decision? Does it seem a little shady? What do you think?
Yes and no. I'm wondering. It really depends on how they're going to do it. In the war room in New York, where the final call is going to be made, who's in there? Is it just two people watching the monitor, or are we going to have an executive of the NFL? Are we going to have maybe a former or one or two referees, and maybe a couple of current referees that are living in New York in there as well watching this video that can make a better call than maybe some of the incompetent ones that are made on the field? So maybe better. I'm not too. I'm a little 50-50 on that right now. It's going to be interesting to see how that's going to work out, and I'm not going to make a call on that until I see it go through in the preseason, really. So,
yeah, I'd like to see that into effect. It kind of takes a little. I'm going to say it actually takes pressure off of the on-field referee.
All right, let me just we're gonna welcome our guest in real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So joining us right now should be Kris Staples. Kris, how you doing, man?
Hey, man, how you doing?
Hey, we're doing real good. I'm glad you called in. We were wondering where you were.
No, the number I got was the wrong number, so I had to get the right number.
That might be my fault. I apologize.
No, it's fine.
All right, man. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. It's been a long, good day, but excited,
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll just jump right into it. We'll ask you a couple of questions. We won't keep you too long. Tomorrow is the release of your new film in which you star. It's called Slamma Jamma. Can you tell us and our listeners a little bit about the movie?
Yeah, the movie is about a guy who was wrongfully accused and went to jail for 6 years. He had the chance to go to the NBA, and just was caught up in the wrong place, the wrong time.
Hmm.
and took the fall for a crime he didn't commit. And he gets out. He has to redeem himself. He gets a second chance.
Hmm.
And he enters this dunk contest. And from that point, you have to see the film. But that's the gist of it. But
Yeah.
it's pretty much about a movie. It's a movie about second chances, redemption, decisions, and highly exciting for slam dunks.
Yeah, no, I watched the trailer. I absolutely loved it. I can't wait to see it. So, in the movie, a lot of different actors and actresses, but you get to star, alongside the likes of Super Bowl champ, Cowboys legend Michael Irvin, Jose Canseco's up in there. Tell us a little bit about that experience, and was it surreal for you to be seeing these people face to face?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm a big fan of Michael Irvin, obviously from football. I've
Absolutely.
watched his movie with Longest Yard. He was a really good,
Yep.
played a really good actor, playing himself for the most part. And he does the same thing in Slamma Jamma. He's kind of playing himself, big talkative guy, exciting, animated, and Jose Canseco, he's a funny guy. But just to be alongside with, Hall of Famers of that caliber, says a lot, and says a lot about my growth. The fact that I can be in the same room, uh, in the same area as them, So it was exciting, great experience.
Absolutely. So, you're also, besides being an actor, you're a professional dunker. Tell us how, you got into just being a professional dunker and what that entails.
Well, I've always been fascinated with dunking, and I started getting into dunk contests around the age of 25 years old, and a little late in the game, but I entered my first dunk contest at 25, and I won it. And with social media being so popular and it growing every day,
Yeah.
someone got a hold of that dunk contest and started calling me for other contests. And so I started making a habit of it, of entering dunk contests and just seeing where it goes. Won some, lost some, but just excited to be able to do something I love to do.
Yeah.
And I've become a fiend with it, and I start studying it, getting more and more creative every year, and something I just fell in love with.
Yeah. Did you ever get to showcase your skills off to anybody in the NBA or?
Yeah, I actually went to All-Star Weekend in 2012, where they kind of gave us the floor to do what we wanted to do. We were in front of the likes of Kobe Bryant and LeBron James, Serge Ibaka. They were all there. Got to watch us, just show off.
That's really cool, man. That must have been a real crazy experience for you.
It was good. In some of the contests, actually, some of the NBA players or former NBA players have been judges, such as Dominique Wilkins. Terrence Ross has been the judge before. Carmelo Anthony's been the judge before in contests. So to dunk in front of some of these great guys, means a lot, and more anticipated on making those dunks.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got to ask you, man. We're big NBA guys here. Who's your all-time favorite player?
My all-time favorite player, I would say Kobe Bryant.
All right.
Wow.
I respect that. I like that.
Yeah, definitely got to go with Kobe Black Mamba. But
there you go.
yeah, definitely Kobe. I mean, just because more because of the fact that when he went to the NBA, it was, I'm not that much younger than Kobe Bryant, and so it's someone I looked up to it because the fact that he was a teenager in the NBA,
Definitely.
and so you kind of grew up in the NBA watching him and watch him grow as a player. So and I pretty much seen his whole career playing in the NBA from start to finish. So to see that growth of one player from the beginning of his career all the way to the end, that's someone that you kind of grow to like.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I totally get that. Totally get that. So, what led you to to wanting to become an actor? Being a dunker, playing ball. What led you to saying, "Hey, you know what? I want to act."
Actually, what led me to acting, I think it was the commercials that I started to do. I mean, I moved out to Los Angeles a few years ago, just hopefully book a job to get a commercial or something like that. I seen a couple of my friends doing commercials, so I wanted to be a part of that, be a part of that world. So I went to LA and ended up getting an agent, and I actually started booking jobs, started booking commercial after commercial, and that, I just wanted to continue to elevate. And when the movie role came along, it wasn't something that I planned, but it was an opportunity presented to me, and I definitely took the chance to grow and to do things like that. So when the opportunity came, I was excited, and I went to the auditions. The director saw something in me, and I landed the role.
Very nice, very nice. So, Slamma Jamma comes out tomorrow. Do you have anything else you're working on, or is there another movie project in the works for you? Or?
Well, hopefully it leads to like the movie. Well, why not do a Slamma Jamma 2 one day or something? But
There you go.
yeah, definitely. But I'm always working on stuff. For now, I just want focus on Slamma Jamma coming out tomorrow. Hopefully, everyone goes to see it. I'm working on a shoe that I'm launching my own shoe this June called Rise with Kris Staples, and I've been an ambassador for the company for about a year, and so now I have my own custom shoe coming out.
Nice.
So that's like the next project. That's something I focus on a little bit more after the movie.
That's very nice. So now you're saying now with Slamma Jamma, is the end of it going to be setting us up for a number 2? Are you just giving us a little spoiler or not?
I mean, it could. It's always
Here we go.
it's
It
always
could. Yeah, come on, man. Go
Duncan.
bounce back now and say
everyone wants to continue to see Duncan. Like, why would you not want to see even more Duncan?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Hopefully that leads to another one.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this, because we were just talking about it. We were talking about basketball movies, and when we were talking about Slamma Jamma, I said I don't think there's been a better basketball movie since Above the Rim. Do you agree with that?
I'm a big fan of Above the Rim. Big fan. I did like Coach Carter though. That was a great movie.
Yeah, that was a cool.
Yeah,
I
okay.
Think of that one.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of
some people
we were
forget
talking
about that
He
one.
Got Game, and it's like it was good, but I'm talking about like a pure
He Got Game was good, but Ray Allen was such a bad actor. But but yeah, he had Denzel Washington that would save the day. So anything with Denzel, I think you're gonna win.
Yeah.
But
just talking about bad acting, who would you take, Shaq or Ray Allen in that department?
Oh man, I don't know.
It's Shaq, man. It's Shaq all day long. That performance in Blue Chips, man, that's brutal.
I don't know, man. Penny wasn't that good.
I don't think I need another Shazam or something like that. Or what was that called? Was that the movie?
Yeah, Shazam.
Shazam or something.
Right.
Shazam. Oh man, that was terrible. That was terrible. Oh man.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, it's rare that you have good basketball movies. You have like White Man Can't Jump, Love and Basketball.
Yeah.
But you haven't had a basketball film in a long time. The last time I think Coach Carter, and that was back in 2005. So now we're 12 years outside of a good basketball movie, and with slam dunking growing every day, and with the NBA dunk contest of Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon, I mean, I think it's a great time, to have a film like this, and obviously with social media, and you have some of the best dunkers in the world actually in this film. There are no stunt doubles or anything, so everything you see in this film is authentic, and that's very rare in most cases.
Absolutely.
And so you get you get the best of the best. So you're actually going to see the best dunkers in the world on a big stage like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Slamma Jamma comes out nationwide in theaters. Actually, they're playing in some theaters tonight, as I'm looking at the nearby movie theaters by me. 10 o'clock tonight, some of them are opening. But tomorrow, debut of it nationwide in theaters, and you can check it out at SlammaJammaMovie.com. Kris, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Kris.
Let's get you back on with Slamma Jamma too, man.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. Don't forget the call. We'll do it.
Oh, no, man.
Right.
We got you on the list, man. We're ready for it.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right, thank you,
Thanks,
Kris.
Kris.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye. All right, and that was Kris Staples joining us. Great guy, really good stuff, man. Slamma Jamma. If you haven't watched the trailer yet, Jeff, you got to watch the trailer. You can go over, like I said, to SlammaJammaMovie.com, and you can also hit them up on Twitter at SlammaJamma00. Have you had a chance to watch the trailer yet?
I did watch the trailer. It looks pretty good, and looks like a movie I would check out. Like I said, I like sports movies. It's hard to find a good one, as we just mentioned.
Yeah.
So, I think I would check it out. Absolutely. And Kris seems a good guy. He's got a lot of good stuff to say. He's got a good history with basketball. So, should bring a lot to the table. It should be a good movie, and I hope we all go out and check it out and support Kris and bring him back for this sequel. Because obviously the way he's selling it, there's a part 2 being lined up.
Yeah, let's hope so. I absolutely love the trailer. Love basketball movies. Cannot wait to watch it. One movie I got to say, and it's probably corny of me, Like Mike with Little Bow Wow.
Yeah.
That was actually pretty cool. I actually liked it. It was, because I don't know if I liked it because there hasn't been a basketball movie in so long, or I liked it because it actually wasn't a half bad movie. But, Like Mike 2 was terrible.
To that I say, the opinions of Jonathan Ragus and Jeff Porrini of the Stoop are clearly for entertainment purposes. Yeah, I don't agree with you there at all.
That's right, man. I'm not looking for you to agree with me. So.
That's right. That's what makes the show beautiful.
Absolutely.
The ability to disagree.
Absolutely. All right. We want to thank Kris Staples for joining in with us tonight. And, check it out. SlammaJammaMovie.com. So let's jump back in. Go ahead.
I got to share this with you real quickly. I just got a message from a friend of mine that listens to the show that just said they loved Like Mike. So you've got... There you go, man. Congratulations.
Who is that friend? What's their name?
Her name is Susan. She is a service consultant at another dealership, like I am.
Mm-hmm.
Great person, and she just messaged me out of the blue, said she's listening, and she loved Like Mike. So I got to sit here and be quiet now.
Susan, I if you're listening still, I absolutely love you. And if you can, go on Facebook to Jeff's page and look for me. My name is Jonathan Ragus, and become my friend because you just earned that right. Awesome stuff.
Big props. He gets a name drop.
Name drop. There you go. That's what we love to do here. All right, let's swing it back over. We're going to talk about the NFL. So you were talking about we were talking about the whole ref stuff.
Yes.
The last time we were talking about it. What else came out of that call today with Troy Vincent?
Some good stuff. They mentioned, like I said, replay is going to change. Where the referee is going to look at it on a tablet. The final decision comes from New York, which I think is good. Another big thing they're reaching out to the viewers at home as well as the game on the field. Extra points will stay moved back. It'll be a 30-yard extra point like we saw last year.
Okay.
After the extra point is kicked, there will start a 40-second time clock.
Interesting.
So you have 40 seconds to kick the ball off, and there's no commercial. So you're going to stay with the game, which is nice. You're going to have some conversation. You're going to talk about the game and prepare for a kickoff. So there's no long television drag. The commercials are cut back a little bit, which is good. I came out and I asked him about Thursday night football, and I think it's is a touch subject. Thursday night games last couple of years, and we've talked about this in the past, they seem to have lacked a little something. The guys... short rest, seemed like the games lacked something, more injuries. But according to Troy Vincent and according to Rich McKay, Thursday night football has actually been a very good thing. Thursday nights are profitable. Mm-hmm. Very few players have anything negative to say about it. They did touch on a potential bye week for the teams that play Thursday. So they're going to try and get more teams involved in Thursday night football. Not the same like 8 teams mixing and matching against each other, bad games and bad quality. Now they're thinking team that plays Thursday night, give them the bye week afterwards, which is a good idea. I think only giving them 4 days rest and rushing them out there and then rushing them out the following week could be tough. So that's something that could be profitable for the team and for the league. Just a lot of great subjects. There's 15 total rule proposals they're going to look at. We're going to find out over the next couple of days when the meeting comes aboard about. Meeting comes about in Arizona is going to be the meeting in the next couple of days. They're going to touch up on horse collaring, tackles. So there's a lot of, like I said, a lot of safety. The 3 major subjects: sportsmanship and safety, quality of the game, and officiating. I think the quality of the game is great. They said the numbers last year, they set a record that had been touched since 1935 for the closest margins of victory, 10.25 points. Closest margins of victory as a whole in NFL history. So the games have been a lot more competitive. Yeah.
Interesting stuff. Did you have a good time on the call today? I know it was your first time on a press call.
First time on a press call, and it was absolutely fantastic to be involved with it. And you and the media, like I said, ESPN is there, and Denver Post and Detroit Free Press. And now, folks, the Stoop Radio Network, and we were announced to the NFL that we're here from the Stoop Radio Network. And I got to ask some questions. I had to listen to Troy and Rich and get the inside scoop and be able to deliver the inside scoop to you people and our listeners here on the show. It's excellent.
And the great thing is, you got to talk to a former Philadelphia Eagle today.
Absolutely. Troy Vincent, loved Troy Vincent as an Eagle. Got a pretty big job now at the NFL. Really does. Everything that comes out of his mouth. Somebody touched on celebrations, and then somebody asked about the celebration rule and if they're going to change it and lighten it up. And Troy came right out and made a good point. And he says, hey, when a big play comes, you have that adrenaline. You want to celebrate with your teammates and get a little wild. But there's a respect factor also to the game and the guys you're playing against. And singing and dancing and twerking and all this crazy stuff. Let's play football. Yeah, high five, leap in the air and butt each other's chest, stuff like that's great. But so you see both sides. See the side of a player and the side now of the executive. But it was awesome. Just a great experience.
Great job, man. Great job.
Thank you very much.
Sticking with the NFL trend, there is a deal in the works for the Oakland Raiders to play at Sam Boyd Stadium in Vegas. They have about 27 votes for the relocation to Vegas. It's going to be a lot of pennies coming out of their pockets to move there. What do you think of this, man? This kind of sucks, man. I hate to see the Oakland without the Raiders.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts that there's this exodus out of California. The poor San Diego Chargers fans, I mean, they moved to L.A., which isn't out of California, but it's still a relocation. Now the Oakland Raiders in Las Vegas, the gambling mecca of the United States. And football is probably the heaviest gambled of the big four sports. Now you're going to put a hometown team there. The ramifications and the possibilities of the dirt that can go on is tremendous. And even today, again, not to bring that back up, but today during the press conference, somebody touched on Vegas, and they said that's a subject that they're leaving off until after the meetings in Arizona. So they don't even want to really discuss it right now. It's a touchy subject.
Yeah.
But to me, it really throws up some flags about the whole gambling thing and the NFL and the credibility. I'm a little stumped by it myself.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. I think this is going to open up a whole new can of worms for other teams that want to get out of their cities. That's what I think. Because if a team like the Oakland Raiders could go, and they've been good. I mean, they've made money in Oakland. On apparel alone, Jesus Christ, they can run a team. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
It was. If you remember, they moved to L.A. That was such a big deal. And then when they finally decided to go back to Oakland, people were ecstatic. And now they're losing their team again.
All right. Anything else NFL we want to speak about?
No, it's pretty much everything.
It's been pretty dead.
Yeah, it's been pretty light. Like I said, after the owners' meetings in Arizona the next couple of days, we'll learn more, and we'll come back to you here on the Stoop and discuss more things as they unfold.
Yeah. All right. Let's jump into a little bit of basketball, man. We got some things going on in the world of basketball. One report coming out today that supposedly the New York Knicks, Jeff Hornacek, head coach Jeff Hornacek, said that they're going to fully implement the triangle for next season. This after reports that opposing players are saying that it's so predictable, the Knicks are so easy to defend, and you can see it in the score and in the loss column. Does Phil Jackson need to go?
Phil Jackson definitely needs to go. There was always a time when you get on your horse and you ride into the sunset and you call it a career. Because basically, poor Jeff Hornacek's here trying to do a job, and Phil Jackson's pulling the strings. Much like Pat Riley did in Miami and on and on. Look, the triangle had its run. So did the run and shoot offense. And everything that happens in sports eventually runs its course.
Yeah.
And here's Hornacek trying to keep a team together that is a mess. You're a huge Knicks guy. You talk about it here constantly. Carmelo Anthony, Derrick Rose, the Charles Oakley thing in the seats. Step back and let this team play some basketball and let the man in the suit and the tie on the sideline coach the team. It's become a circus.
Yeah. It's crazy. Me being a New York Knicks fan, I was very happy with the hiring of Jeff Hornacek. I think he's a great coach.
I like Jeff. Yeah, absolutely.
When he's run his system in some of the games at the end, and you can see it wasn't the triangle that was being run, the Knicks were not only defending, they were scoring. And they were scoring at a rapid pace. and some of those games they came back and won. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen. James Dolan is a fool. He's not going to fire Phil Jackson. He's going to let Phil Jackson ride out as long as he wants, just like they did with Isaiah Thomas. Is Phil Jackson a problem? Yes, but the main problem to me is James Dolan, because he's just got too much control over what happens with this team. He's still making money. No matter what happens, no matter how bad this team is going to be, there's still going to be fans' butts in the seats. People are going to be buying merchandise. They're going to be buying $8 sodas, $35 hot dogs. Just happens to be that way. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens in New York. And, see what happens.
It's a shame for big market cities, and Philadelphia is a pretty big market city, too. It's a shame when you have so much resource and so many passionate fans, and you offer them a garbage product. It's hard, but you're not going to keep everybody from going. People are always going to go to the games, no matter what.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course.
No
That's
matter,
why,
like
and I get a kick out of people that say, "Oh yeah, I'm done with this team." No, you're not, man. Come on.
Yeah, nobody's ever done. Like when strikes come on, I'm done with the league. You're not done with the league. You're going to come right back to the league. You're going to come back to everything because it's something to watch. Sports is exciting, and I don't care. I've been offended by it in the past, and I keep coming back to it.
Yeah. And it's going to keep happening. That's the problem. All right, let's jump into this, man. LeVar Ball.
Oh my God.
Here's a guy that needs to just completely go away. He was on some show with Screaming Steven A. Smith. And you know me, man. I don't like Steven Smith. I do not like Steven Smith. No. I give Steven Smith credit. I was with him 110%, and I think it's the first time I've ever agreed with him, because LeVar Ball not only compared his son to Steph Curry, he said if he went on the Lakers, he would be the Magic Johnson for that Lakers. What? What?
Oh, my God.
The kid's good, but he's not great. He's averaging 14 points a game. He's not, he's not really a great player. Oh, man.
Pops loves the name drop, man. Pops is going after Michael Jordan and LeBron James and Kobe Bryant and now Magic Johnson. Let's let the kid get drafted first. And it's funny, a few friends of mine were mentioning the potential of the Sixers having a high draft pick and saying, what if we had the chance to draft Ball? And probably 12 people in a row said his father's not worth it. It's almost like the way in the beginning of the Eric Lindros era, you remember his father was involved in everything. The fathers, it's nice to root for your kid. It's nice to support your kid and even run his affairs. But shut your mouth, man. Let the kid play some ball.
It's insane, man. It's insane. He's going to hurt his son so bad.
Yeah.
When it comes to the draft, because a lot of teams are not going to want to draft him just because they don't want to deal with the father. And I'm sorry, but Lonzo Ball is a good player. He's not a great player. He's not going to sniff the jocks of LeBron James. He's not even going to come within 3,000 miles of Magic Johnson. Get the out of here, man. Seriously.
Agreed. Absolutely.
But the cool thing is that in Portuguese, the translation of LeVar is to wash. So his name is To Wash Balls, which is, I think, is absolutely hilarious. And it's only fitting for him.
Yeah. I think that we go on a kind of anti-campaign and we make T-shirts that say To Wash Balls.
To Wash Balls.
With his picture on it. I bet we sell the shit out of them. Right into the Stoop, folks. www.stoopradio.com is the website. Leave us a comment. Give us your shirt size, and we will give you, for a fair price, the Washing of Balls T-shirts.
Washing of Balls. All right, man.
It's fantastic.
Two things real quick NBA-wise, and then we're going to jump over to a little bit of MLB, and hopefully our next guest, Dargan Nelson, will be joining us in just a little bit. But report that the Sixers made a significant offer for Paul George at the deadline. Would you have wanted Paul George on your Philadelphia 76ers?
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you like to know what the package was?
I read it was somewhere along the lines originally of Nerlens Noel and Jahlil Okafor and draft picks.
No. It was Robert Covington,
Robert Covington.
2 future first-round picks, and their choice of either Nerlens Noel or Jahlil Okafor.
I still take that on. The reason why, if you didn't make the trade for Noel, you still end up with either Noel or Okafor, whoever they don't pick.
Yeah.
Embiid, if he could be healthy. Ben Simmons and Paul George. And George has been overlooked only because he plays on a smaller Indiana team. Look, the basketball purists like yourself and people who are diehard basketball fans know that Paul George is a fantastic player. Mm-hmm. 26 years old, his contract's up next year. The rumor was that him signing a new deal would be part of the trade. I would love to have a guy like that here. This is the kind of guy we need. You need a guy who has been a proven star. We know Embiid could be good if he's healthy, this, that, and the other thing. We know Ben Simmons looks good. It could be good, this, that, and the other thing. We know Okafor was great in college. He might turn into something. That time, all right, that's here. We got all those youthful players. We know they all can be something. We got to bring in the guy that is something.
All right. We're going to jump in right now, and hopefully this is our guest right now. Derek, is that you?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Oh, another day in paradise out here in LA, trying to brave the extremely chilly weather of about 61, trying to hold up, as best as we can here.
You're a lucky man. We're outside of Philadelphia. I know you're from the area.
Yeah, I'm from Reading, PA.
All right, you're from Reading. There you go. So,
Jeff,
Reading,
610.
okay.
Yeah, there you go. Jeff's out by Langhorne, and I'm here in Montgomery County, man. So we weren't that far from one another at one point.
Boom, PA in the house.
Oh, yeah. PA all the way. We love it.
There you go. All right, man. So let's jump right into it. We won't keep you too long, but we want to find out, what's going on with your series and, all this great stuff. So jumping right into it, tell us a little bit about your YouTube series, Down with David, and what's going on with it.
Yeah, for sure. So, well, just first of all, thank you for having me on the show. It's always a pleasure to talk with some East Coasters, especially from southeastern Pennsylvania. And so I've been working on this show called Down with David, and it's based on my true life living here in Hollywood as this broke, struggling actor, filmmaker from a small town in PA, and just, not getting auditions, finding just hard to make rent here. And I found myself in this crazy situation where just to make ends meet, I had an opportunity to go dance in West Hollywood. And for anyone who doesn't know, West Hollywood is actually what they call Boys Town here in LA. It's actually technically the gay district. And I was like, I'm straight. This is crazy. I'm cool with gay people, but this is too much. And I went in, and literally before I knew it, for the first time in my existence of LA, I was pulling hot chicks like it was candy. And I was just living the sex life of a rock star, and just all this madness and adventure ensued from go-go dancing in West Hollywood. And wow. It kind of became this Wedding Crashers-like scenario where this really kind of strange fish out of water, where I was able to pick up these girls. They had their guards down, and they weren't looking to really meet any guys. And, it's pretty vicious here for girls in LA, a lot of guys coming at them. And with that guard down, I was just cleaning house. So, yeah, it's kind of my true life of doing that, but looking for love at the same time and just failing epically at every turn. So I've been working on this series for this past couple of years, kind of been my labor of love. Just released it and really excited with some of the things that we got coming up with it.
Yeah, I mean, we watched a little bit of it, and right off the bat, I noticed the first episode had over 26,000 views on YouTube. I mean, that's got to make you excited.
Doing what we can. It's a little frustrating with the way that Hollywood kind of operates now, because I've gotten some really major people who say we love the show, but we need millions of views. And it's kind of this Wall Street mentality that's taken over the creative execs here, to where it's more about the views and not the content. Because as far as the content, I've got people who said, this is ready to go. I just need more views. And that's a little frustrating. But I'm trying to, keep it up as much as possible, and a lot of good stuff coming up to help that cause.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. That's real crazy, considering there's so many other shows that we've seen that didn't have many hits, and they got picked up by some big networks, or hey, you write a script, you hand it in, they like it, they love it. If the product is good, it should be picked up.
Yeah, that's kind of changing. Unless you have kind of a brand already established, it's really becoming more about that. They're just so concerned about that pre-built-in audience, which doesn't really make sense because they've had some YouTube stars recently who have, kind of taken their brand to the TV world and whatnot, and it's kind of fallen flat in their face. But as of right now, Hollywood is still kind of in that mindset of they got to have the views and the built-in audience already, or we won't do anything with it.
Yeah. So talking about that, now do you hope like a Netflix or a Hulu picks up the series, or are you looking at like a cable network like Spike, or you just don't care and you just want people to see it?
I mean, to be completely honest with you, I actually want to make it into a feature film.
Nice.
I wrote the feature film script before the web series script, and the feature is what I would consider the best thing I've ever written. Mm-hmm. Having said that, I think we could definitely, work with it episodically. I have so much material, so many adventures, including I also worked for 2 years in kind of the famous female strip club here in Los Angeles, the Spearmint Rhino. I was the doorman there. So on the weekends, I was dancing myself, and during the week, I was security with the female strippers and seeing everything from their point of view. And of course, kind of fell for one, and just a lot of drama and craziness. So as far as episodically goes, I got more than enough material to fill 6 seasons worth.
Very nice, very nice. So, what led you down this path? Like, okay, so we know it's your real life, but like, why choose that? Was there a particular reason why you said, "Wow, this could just make a really good series," or you just said, "You know what? Let's just roll with it"?
Yeah, I mean, it's just so hard to, I think, produce really quality content when you have so little money, especially here in LA. And I just felt like there was a lot of really compelling storylines that we could do for cheap, and just a lot of my real life characters that I just felt were like just so over the top that I felt could really work really well within the series. Like in Down with David, kind of his mentor is this older guy by the name of Colt, who in real life is Kerry O'Quinn. Kerry created Starlog and Fangoria magazines, and he's this super energetic elderly guy who has more energy than you and I and Jeff combined, and he's just this kind of out of this box character, but I just felt like in the series he would just really be a huge hit, and so far the people who watched it have really agreed.
Wow, I had no idea that was Kerry O'Quinn, and I've watched the first couple of episodes, and I know Fangoria really well. I had no idea that was him. Holy crap. That's amazing. Yeah,
Kerry is he's literally in the other room right now, actually working on something. I gotta talk to him after this.
He's a pisser in the series. He is a pisser in that, man.
And that's how he is in real life. But he's the kindest and most supporting person ever. But it's crazy just walking. I'll go to the Chinese theater with him one night and have all these people randomly stop him on the street, or Michael Giacchino, who does all of J.J. Abrams' scoring in the movies and who did Doctor Strange. He comes up to Kerry with a Starlog, and it's just like, "Can you sign my Starlog, please?" And I call Kerry, he's kind of the star to the stars. So he's just a real hoot and riot.
That's hilarious. That is so cool. So let's talk about this now. You have some interesting guest stars on there from models. I've seen a couple of porn stars here and there.
yeah.
Now, I'm not going to complain. I liked it. So
we like that here, yeah.
Is there going to be a guest star that people are going to look at and say, wow, we know that person and they're here on this YouTube series?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we got a really huge adult actress in Brittany Amber. She's done a lot of adult work, and I was actually shocked because Brittany actually does a pretty good job in the series. And, we were pretty low budget and just so rushed on time that we didn't even really have the ability to do any kind of rehearsals or even have, a huge amount of time to shoot the scenes. And Brittany came in there like a champ, delivered her dialogue, and she was easy to work with. And, I heard stories about, horror stories about working with these adult actresses and how they were kind of train wrecks. And besides her actually being a good actress, she actually was a pretty feet on the ground type of girl too. So that was pretty cool. And there's a couple other kind of horror movie type hot girls in the series. Minnie Robinson is in there. She's just got engaged to Randy Couture of UFC fame. So yeah, we definitely got a couple hot ladies in there with some names.
Yeah, that's why Jeff was watching it. He was enamored with it.
I didn't even know you were on there. I just saw girls. No, I'm kidding.
That's kind of the idea. I just kind of
Gotcha.
blend into the background every now and then, say a funny joke or two, maybe.
There you go. There you go. So now, what's next for you, and what's next for the series?
Yeah, so I'm actually really excited because I just found out today. It looks like I'm going to be a guest on the local Washington, D.C. ABC show Good Morning Washington.
Very nice.
So I don't know exactly when that's going to be, but it looks like I'm going to be on there. And of course, if I'm going to D.C., I got to come back home to PA and see my family and friends. It's been over 2 years since I've been home. It's such a struggle here in Hollywood that every day you got to be on the hustle, you got to be on the grind to try to make these things happen, just because the competition is so severe, it's so fierce. So I'm really looking forward to having an excuse to going back home, going to Geno's, getting me a nice cheesesteak. Honestly, I hope I can see a Phil's game while I'm home. That too. I know we're going to be horrible this year, but just to be back in the Citizens Bank Park, I think would be a lot of fun. So I'm really looking forward to coming home and promoting the series and YouTube channel.
There you go. Perfect. So now let our listeners know, how can they find you, and also how can they find out more about you?
Yeah, absolutely. The best way is I actually just uploaded a brand new video right now to my YouTube site. The YouTube is www.youtube.com/downwithdavid. And the new video is actually my 6 predictions for Lane Kiffin at Florida Atlantic University. So on the
nice.
YouTube site, we got the entire Down with David series, but I also do sports, dating, and pop culture. And I pretty much just riff on Lane Kiffin for 5 minutes. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. It's kind of easy to do.
Yeah,
and
5
then
minutes.
Instagram,
Hours.
it's hours, especially with the pictures that just surfaced of Kiffin just clubbing it up in Boca Raton. Like who does that? But Lane Kiffin does.
Lane Kiffin does.
But Lane Kiffin does. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Down with David. So definitely stay in touch with me. I love to always hear from the fans and give me some ideas for videos too.
Awesome. Great stuff. Well, Derek, listen, man, we'll get you back soon. We appreciate you coming on tonight.
Beautiful.
I know we dropped it on you a little bit last minute, but I appreciate your willingness to come on. And, we really wanted to talk to you about your series here. And, if there's anything we can do, you just let us know. We'll do what we can for you.
Absolutely, man. I really appreciate that. Let's connect when I'm back in PA. Always looking to be back with my East Coast people.
There you go.
Sounds great.
Sounds good, brother.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful rest of the day, all right?
You too.
You
Have a
too.
good night,
Thanks.
All right, guys. See ya.
man. Bye-bye. All right, and that was Derek Nelson of the YouTube series Down with David. You can just check it out on YouTube. Just go on YouTube and search Down with David. It's great. It's funny. It's original. Very, very, very original. So for everybody that has not heard of it, give it a listen. It's good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. It's good. I mean, we're a little tight on time tonight. Like you said, we kind of got him last minute, but some of the outfits he wears in that show to be the stripper, I mean, I give him guts. I mean, I give him props for the guts right there. I mean, talk about going out and wanting it bad enough to do just about anything to be famous. I mean, it's it. But it looks good. I've seen some pieces of it. You sent me some of it, and I like it. I think everybody should watch it. Like I said, it's real. It's original. It's new. And he's pretty charismatic. He's a good guy, and he's a PA guy, so we always root for them. So check it out.
There you go. All right, thank you to Derek Nelson for joining us tonight. So let's jump back over, man. MLB, World Baseball Classic, just ended last night with a United States of America blowout of Puerto Rico, 8-0. Did you watch the WBC at all? Because I didn't.
I did watch some pieces of it. I didn't get glued to it. A lot of people do. A lot of my friends that are of Puerto Rican descent or Dominican descent, they definitely get into it and watch their hometown team. On an international level, baseball to me there's so many players from all different walks, and to see USA win it is pretty impressive. It was kind of weird, I guess, because it was a blowout. At the end of the game, the celebration was very short. It was a nice little hug between pitcher and catcher, and everybody started coming, then they started jumping around a little bit, but I just don't know if it means that much to the guys. It's nice, but I think like the World Cup of Hockey and international soccer, World Cups and all that seem to mean a little bit more than this does. It's fun. It's definitely fun watching players represent their hometowns, home countries, if you will. But I wasn't glued to it. It was all right. I watched a little bit of the finals as well, and it is what it is.
It is what it is, and with that, the World Baseball Classic is over, and the United States of America are the, I guess this time you can actually say world champions, and it actually applies. So
yeah, world, right, exactly.
We are the champions. All right, let's get into a little bit of movie talk. Zombieland 2 writers say that the script is complete, and I am so happy. I am looking forward to this. But the thing that bothers me is it too many years too late. Jeff, did you watch the original Zombieland? Did you like it? Because if you didn't, I don't know if I could be friends with you.
I watched it. It's not my kind of movie. It's just not my thing.
It's
not
into
the zombies.
Man.
Zombies.
And Bill Murray is in it.
Oh, well, that sells it. I am anti. Yeah, we're going to do it right here on the stoop.
Bill Murray, man, should be the president of the United States of America, and I don't want to hear it from you.
Groundhog Day was good. And a little bit of Ghostbusters.
The Bill Murray
wait a minute.
Groundhog Day?
Wait a minute. Okay. Stripes.
All right, I'm okay with that.
One of the funniest movies ever.
Stripes is,
Bill Murray,
I
agree.
agree.
I'm 50-50 Bill Murray. It's kind of like a Tom Hanks to me. I'm 50-50 Tom Hanks.
What?
50-50. He's a good... Tom Hanks is a good actor, but...
99.8% of Tom Hanks movies are perfection.
I just keep seeing Bosom Buddies. I keep seeing him in a...
great show. Phenomenal show. Phenomenal show, man. Don't knock Bosom Buddies, man, because we're going to have problems here. You can gain some brownie points right now by telling me who is Tom Hanks' roommate. The actor.
that was Peter Scolari.
You're the man.
Who was also on Newhart.
Yep.
Yeah, he's good. He was also in That Thing You Do. He's had some roles. Mm-hmm. Tom Hanks would have been an example. I like Tom Hanks. Yep. He's better than Bill Murray. Bill Murray to me is here nor there. But yeah, Bosom Buddies was a good TV show, and I used to love Donna Dixon.
Oh, Dan Aykroyd's wife.
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd's. Yeah, I still can't believe that. But
hey,
it was a good show.
Dan Aykroyd, cool dude, man. I think he can get any chick he wants, and he scored a good one. So, but yeah,
I'll tell you what. I think we might need a third person on the show. You, me, and we need a co-host because you and Susan are hitting it off. She keeps texting me how she likes all your choices, all your movies, and Bill Murray, and it's like 2 against 1 here.
I think Susan saw my picture on Facebook and she thinks I'm cute, which is why she's agreeing with me, and I don't fault her for that. So thank you, Susan.
I think she's just doing it to pick on me, which I understand it. That's fair.
Hey, I like her even better. That's fine. Good old Susan.
Maybe a number to call in one of these nights, and we'll work that
anyway.
into the near future.
All right, we also have a little bit of news here where Michael Shannon is supposedly the front runner to play Cable in Deadpool 2. Before I ask you, I already spoke out about this. I like Michael Shannon as an actor to an extent. I do not see him being Cable, and I'm not happy with this, but if he is Cable, I will go to the movie to watch Deadpool 2. I will take off my true Marvel goggles, and I'll give him a chance. Do you have any feelings about this whatsoever?
Your true Marvel goggles. I do have something to say, but I like him. I like him as a villain. I liked him in the Superman movie. He's got a villainous look about him. I think he can pull it off. I mean, everything you read is that Cable is a hard character to portray. Perhaps. I think he does a good job. I'm excited to see it. I like Deadpool. I know Ryan Reynolds got a lot of heat for his previous comic book stuff. He nailed it as Deadpool. It's now a good franchise, so I don't see it missing. I think it's good either way.
No.
No, really.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I still say, and I like Michael Shannon, but I feel like the best actor to portray Cable is Dolph Lundgren.
Well, if you want a poorly acted movie, absolutely.
Come on, man. Dude, you are out of your mind,
Dolph
man.
Lundgren.
You are out of your
Dolph
mind.
Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren. He has the look. He has the physique. Cable is a monstrous dude. Let me tell you, in the comic books, he is tall and he is muscular. And then you're gonna have Don Cheadle play him. It doesn't work that way. You know.
Well, that's movies now. That's the way it is. If you remember when they talked about Bane in the latest Christian Bale Batman series, Bane wasn't huge and monstrous. He was built, but he wasn't this massive character. And when you bring it to real life, you got to change it up a little bit. It's got to be toned down, unless it's all graphics and giddy up, and that overdoes the movie.
My top two are Dolph Lundgren and Ron Perlman, and that's just how I feel.
I like the Ron Perlman idea.
And I have to say, number 3, I would go with Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yep. The father from Supernatural, and he plays Negan on The Walking Dead right now.
Okay. It's hard. I mean, it's a tough character. The guy that I see pictures of a lot that I think obviously we need to bulk up is Stephen Lang. His face comes up a lot when they talk about Cable. He's got the Cable face. He would need some body, but I think that's a guy that can be good.
he's got muscle to him, but he's 5'10". He's not tall for the part. He's a phenomenal actor, Stephen Lang. Don't get me wrong. And they all are. Michael Shannon's a great actor.
Sure.
Stephen Lang, Ron Perlman, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I know John Hamm was supposedly rumored to be Cable as well. All phenomenal actors. In their own right. There's no question about it. I'll give it a chance. I mean, if he gets the role, I loved how they casted Deadpool, the first one. So I'm okay with it, If that's where they go with it, we're not in the script room. We don't see Michael Shannon reading it as he would be portraying Cable, so he might knock it out of the thing. Just, off the bat, when you look at his picture, I don't see Cable. I'm such a big comic book fan. When I look at these actors, or these things, and they say, oh, Pierce Brosnan's going to play Cable. No.
No. But,
No.
you get lucky. It's hard to get that lucky like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I mean, that's Wolverine. It's almost like Wolverine. It's almost like Wolverine fell out of the comic book and became Hugh Jackman.
I love that pick from the first moment I saw the first X-Men movie. I thought that was just, very rarely do you just get the most amazing spot-on casting for one actor or actress, and that was just beautiful. Everybody else, besides Professor X and besides Magneto, everybody else sucked.
Yeah. Let's hit on some of that real quickly, like some of the best prototypical casting, because for me as a kid, when I saw Christopher Reeve as Superman, to me that's dead on. Here is a tall, fairly fit, good-looking fella. The hair worked. Yeah. I mean, that to me was Superman. And now, and you get spoiled for it because the guys they bring out now, you're like, that's not really Superman to me. Sometimes certain people just nail it. We all joked about Michael Keaton as Batman, and I loved it.
It's amazing. Christopher Reeves, Michael Keaton as Batman. That was since Adam West. That was the best Batman, no question about it. I actually liked Val Kilmer as Batman, except for the fact that I didn't like the script and I didn't like the way the movie was directed. If they did it in a different way, I think a lot more people would have respected Val Kilmer as Batman. Now you flip the bill a little bit and you look at some of the Marvel movies, and Dolph Lundgren as Punisher. I liked the movie. I didn't see Dolph Lundgren as Punisher, and I love Dolph Lundgren. The first Fantastic Four movie, besides Michael Chiklis as the Thing, and I can't remember the guy who played Mr. Fantastic, the actor, the British actor. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but they were good. I didn't like Jessica Alba as Invisible Woman. Thought it was terrible.
It was the sex appeal. She was hot at the time.
Yeah. And who played Johnny Storm? That was Chris Evans, who plays Captain America
Right.
now. I didn't like him as Johnny Storm. I love him as Captain America. He is Captain America to me.
Yes. No, that's a good.
He is. There's no question
good
about
one.
it. He's Captain America. If you look at, oh man, I'm drawing so many blanks here on these damn names. Who's the guy that plays Thor? Oh my God, I am drawing a huge
Oh,
blank.
Chris Hendrick.
What?
Wait a minute. Oh, I got the wrong. Sorry. Wrong movie.
What are you talking about, man? You're confusing the crap out of me. Chris Hemsworth.
Hemsworth. I said
Chris
his name.
Hemsworth. Love him as Thor. Love Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner. That is the best Bruce Banner since Bill Bixby. Don't care what anybody says. Mark Ruffalo, perfect. Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. Perfect casting. Can't do anything better than that. You know, Tom Hiddleston as Loki. I think the Marvel movies from Marvel Studios does a pretty damn good, spot-on, flawless casting. When you look at the ones that are under 20th Century Fox, you look at Sony, you know, I didn't really care for the casting. The Netflix shows, love it. I think they spot on with who they pick for Luke Cage, who they pick for Daredevil, who they pick for Iron Fist, and Jessica Jones. I thought it was great. So, you know, good stuff there.
Loki is perfect.
Oh, Tom Hiddleston played.
Oh, perfect.
When you look at Loki in the comic books, now when I read a comic book and I see Loki, I think of Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what Marvel Studios is introducing. The DC universe can't do that. I don't look at Batman and see Ben Affleck.
No.
I don't look at
Absolutely
Superman
not.
and see the new guy. I don't even know what his name is. Is it Henry Cavill or was that the first one before him?
That
I
was
don't know.
that was the first one before him.
Yeah, I don't know what this new guy is. Gal Gadot, I don't see her as Wonder Woman because to me Wonder Woman is tall, she's meaty, and Gal Gadot is very, she's tall but she's very skinny. And I think in the trailer she looked great as Wonder Woman. I just don't see her as that. Aquaman, I don't see Jason Momoa.
No, I don't see that either. I agree.
And I like
think
him as an actor.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. You're correct. Henry Cavill is the latest
Current one.
Superman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Better than Dean Cain, of course.
Don't knock Dean Cain. Lois and Clark was a very good show.
Here we go again.
Lois and Clark. Susan, do you agree with me?
So I should be getting a message any second now. But yeah, it's hard to cast. Not so much a superhero. It's hard to cast a supervillain. The Spider-Man movies nailed it. I think the first couple of Spider-Man movies were good.
Here's the thing with the first Spider-Man movie. What the hell? I always mix his name up with. I don't know why, but I do. The guy who played the Green Goblin, William Dafoe. Loved him as the Green Goblin. Despised. I can't tell you how much I hated the suit that they made him wear for that movie. That's what ruined it for me.
Yeah, kind of a robotic, metallic, quite type uniform, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just chromed out, robotic. It was terrible. I thought it was absolutely terrible. Did not like it. But I love the casting. Willem Dafoe is a great Henry Osborn. Great.
Yeah,
absolutely phenomenal. It's just amazing. Like how many times are they going to boot the Spider-Man movie now, and then we got a new one, a new Spider-Man in the universe, which is man, I'm blanking so bad with names tonight. Tom Holland, which I love him. I think that was great casting. If you watched him in the new movie when he made his appearance, I loved it.
Yeah,
I love him as Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, perfect. Batista as Drax the Destroyer. He looks like Drax the Destroyer from the comic book. I mean, it is perfect.
Spider-Man is supposed to be a young kid.
Yes. And they finally nailed it.
Right. We didn't really. We had. I like Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, but forcing us to see him as a young kid.
Yeah.
And this one they finally nailed it. A young kid. He's a little brash. He's a little smart mouth, but that's good. It was finally done right. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
And let me tell you, Spider-Man Homecoming, that's coming soon. Michael Keaton as Adrian Toomes, a.k.a. the Vulture. I am ecstatic for it. I cannot wait to see Michael Keaton as the Vulture.
Agreed. I love Michael Keaton.
And because I love her, and even though I'm not too happy with the casting, I can't wait to see Marissa Tomei as Aunt May Parker.
I love Marissa Tomei.
I love Marissa Tomei.
See, that's moments like that you can't worry about the casting.
No,
Gotta worry about
she
seeing some
is
Marissa Tomei.
Fine.
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 We don't sing very well here on the Stoop.
Yeah. But we got some great movies coming. We got Guardians of the Galaxy 2 coming, which I'm ecstatic about. Spider-Man: Homecoming, Thor: Ragnarok is coming next year. Black Panther, Avengers: Infinity War, Ant-Man and Wasp. Supposedly a film based on Venom, which with Marvel Studios now doing
I heard that. Yeah, that should be good.
Or actually, it's going to be Columbia Pictures, which if they're working along at Marvel Studios, I think it'll be really good. So it'll be really good. And then 2019, Captain Marvel movie, which Brie Larson, woohoo, happy man, love that casting. Brie Larson, perfect. Cannot wait to see her as Captain Marvel. And then they have another Avengers movie that's coming out just 2 years, after the next one, and then Spider-Man: Homecoming 2 already.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. I'm looking forward to it.
You're all geeked out over there.
Oh yeah, man. Listen, man. I don't fangirl over many things, but I fangirl over Marvel movies big time. Man. Listen, my father owned a comic book store many moons ago. I grew up reading comic books.
That's awesome.
I grew up with all of these characters around. In our studio right now, and Jeff can attest to me right now, there's hundreds of Marvel books on my shelf right now, from Daredevil to Fantastic Four, Ant-Man, Thor, Sergeant Fury, the Rawhide Kid. I mean, we go back. These are my father's, but I read them, and I love them. Even old school DC, I'm not a big DC guy, but I love the old stories. The Phantom Stranger, Jonah Hex, the Haunted Tank. These are stories that I love and I grew up on.
He does. He's got tons of them.
Yeah.
His end is more. His end of the studio is comic book. My end of the studio is a little more Star Wars. I'm a big Star Wars guy. I'm a science fiction movie guy.
What do we got in here? You got all your stuff. I got some Rangers banners. I got some autographed photos, mostly of wrestlers, and Vincent Price up on my wall here. Good old Uncle Vincent.
Little Vincent.
Uncle Vincent, man. Uncle Vince.
I've got a 5 foot tall stormtrooper. And all my Philadelphia memorabilia, good stuff here.
Don't tell people what you do with that stormtrooper, man. That's your own business.
There was a drunken night with that stormtrooper and me dressed up as Pitbull for Halloween, and that poor sucker was a Pitbull video hoe for one long evening.
You bad man.
There was a video of that out there somewhere. I'm leaving that to myself.
Yeah, that's just too much, dude. Way too much.
Fireball.
You're a crazy man. But anyway, we're going to wrap up our show here tonight, and we have some great guests coming up.
Great lineups.
Yep. Tuesday, March 28th, we're going to be joined by R&B star Ron Anthony. On Tuesday, April 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, actress Dee Wallace. We're going to have such a blast talking to Dee Wallace and talking to her about her long and just iconic career. If you don't know who Dee Wallace is, you haven't been watching television for the last 40 years. I implore you to work. Just look it up. Look who Dee Wallace is. I'll give you a hint. The mother from E.T. And you take it from there. She's absolutely phenomenal, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. You look her up and you'll be like, wow. When you see all the things she's been in. Yeah, absolutely.
Because a lot of people know the face, but they don't know the name, which is astonishing to me because she's so famous, she's so popular, she's been around for so many years, and to me, she's so iconic. But I guess because I just watch all of her movies and think she's amazing, but we'll see what happens. April 13th, singer Ivan Edmonds will be joining us. April 11th, first. 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Former Nick Arcade host and our friend Phil Moore is going to be here. We're going to be talking about a new television show based on video games called Battle Arcade that he's got a Kickstarter going for now. Looking forward to that. April 13th, singer Ivan Edmonds, like I just said. Tuesday, April 18th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, guitarist Bob Bordeaux from One Step from Falling, great band. We're going to listen to some of their music as well. April 27th, Bully Busters founder. What was that?
My birthday.
There you go. Happy birthday to Jeff, as we'll be joined by Bully Busters founder Keith Bowen. And May 2nd, singer Ellie Sufi will be here with us as well. So we got a lot of guests up and coming. and we're in talks with a huge guest right now, which I hope to be able to announce tomorrow. Jeff knows who it is. I'm ecstatic from it. It's from the world of heavy rock. Really looking forward to that.
Excellent.
Hopefully it falls through, and we can announce that tomorrow. But once again, I want to thank our guest from tonight, actor Kris Staples, starring in the movie Slamma Jamma, will be released tonight, but officially tomorrow in theaters nationwide. You can check that out at slammajammamovie.com. And also Derek Nelson, the star, the writer, the creator, pretty much the jack of all trades for the YouTube series Down with Dave, and you can check that out. Like I said, go to YouTube and just click and search Down with Dave. It's absolutely hilarious. So for my buddy Jeff Porrini, I am Jonathan Ragus. We want to thank all of you for not only tuning in and listening, but for putting up with us over the last couple of weeks with our crazy technical difficulties. And I have to tell you, I am ecstatic that everything went so well tonight with our new sound equipment. I'm going to go to sleep a happy man tonight, Jeff.
That's excellent. That's a good thing. Everything went really well tonight, and give yourself a lot of credit. We got some staff here that helps us and does things, and people that write for us. And but really, it's the brainchild of Jonathan Ragus, mixed in with the absolutely adorable, cute sense of humor and beautiful face of Jeff the Shark Porrini.
Susan just texted you and said, I don't agree with that.
I don't even want to look.
There you go. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. We hope you have a great night, and we'll see you next week with our guest, Ron Anthony, R&B star. He'll be here March 28th. So we'll see you then. And once again, keep it real, keep it safe. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And don't be a douche.